Hello, Numis Slabber here, and I have another video for you. I won't be too long in this video. This video is about some coins that I just recently purchased, and I got the coins in the mail today. And I was pretty excited when I got these coins. Once again, like in the last video, I got more proof coins. I have some more proof quarters. I have a 1982S proof quarter, as we can see here. Another beautiful proof quarter. It's a PR69 deep cameo quarter. And when you get proof quarters, if they are pretty well preserved and taken care of, then when you get to have them graded, you will get basically 69 grades on proof quarters. And I also have here a 1987 proof quarter, which is another beautiful quarter. And I also have here a 1989 proof quarter, which is a pretty good quarter. The only thing that I see here is that with the 1982 proof quarter here, when I look at the detail in George Washington's hair versus the detail in George Washington's hair in this 1987 S proof quarter, I noticed that the detail in his hair in the 87 S proof quarter is a lot better and clearer than the detail here in the 1982 proof quarter, which makes me question, why did the 1982 proof quarter receive a grade of PR69? So I don't know. I mean, the people at PCGS, they are not perfect. You know, sometimes they do make mistakes. They could never be perfect with their grading. You know, no one's perfect. But another thing that I would like to show you is I basically got a collection of wheat pennies, as you can see here. And I got 2 rows of wheat pennies that you see here, which should be 100 pennies, but there are not 100 pennies in these 2 rows. This row here, this roll of pennies here actually has 51 pennies to it. So if this other row here has 50 pennies in it, with this one having 51, there's 101 pennies. But you know, I don't expect the person that I bought these pennies from to be perfect with their count, for the fact that I bought 1,000 wheat pennies from that person. So, you know, you can easily miscount and give a little bit more or give a little bit less. I really don't care, because when I count out my pennies, sometimes I miscount too, especially when you have that many pennies. And what's so special about these wheat pennies that I have here is that these wheat pennies come from a collection that has been sitting in basically 3 wine jars. And they've been in the wine jars for decades. And these wheat pennies have not been in circulation and in use since in decades. So the person I bought them from says that she has at least 100 pounds of wheat pennies, and that is a lot of pennies. Now, she has said that these pennies were being collected decades before 1965. But as far as the pennies that I have here, as you can see, these wheat pennies here, I believe that these wheat pennies here were being collected somewhere around the late 1960s. You know, wheat pennies are no longer being made since past 1958, and these were collected in the late 1960s. The reason why is because looking at the color of the pennies, there are some pennies that are, such as this one, a dark color. This one is a red-brown color. This one, the dark color to it. Okay, you typically see that in pennies that have been in circulation for a while. And when you store pennies, from what I've seen from the pennies that I've stored for years, is that when they go from a red color to a red-brown to a brown color, it's the oxidization of the pennies from basically the natural chemicals around the pennies that causes it, and from another very, very, very big factor: touching the penny with your bare hand, which you are never supposed to do. You are never supposed to touch a penny with your bare hand, because your bare hand has chemicals that when you touch a penny or any coin, you transfer the chemical from your hand to the coin, and once it's on there, it cannot be taken off. So you can touch a coin that has never been touched by human hands, bare human hands, and you can put chemicals on it, and you can have the coin slabbed, which this coin is. It's slabbed. You can have the coin slabbed, and 6 months to a year, maybe 2 years later, all of a sudden you see these white milky spots on the coin. That's from improper handling. Someone touched the coin, and it put the chemicals on the coin. So if you're really serious about preserving your coin, and it's a pretty old coin, yes, it may have been touched before because it was in circulation years ago before you got it, but wear white cotton gloves whenever you touch your coins. Wear white cotton gloves. Now, these coins, I said, were probably being collected in the late 1960s, and the reason why is because if you look at some of the pennies here, such as this 1955, you can see that on the face of the 1955 that there is some wear on the face, on the cheek and the hair. Okay, and if you notice the ear is still there somewhat, but it's being worn, it's worn away a lot. And typically when you have pennies, because I love pennies, the Lincoln pennies, the wheat pennies, I love them. And typically when you have pennies where you can see smoothness on the face and the hair, and you can see that the ear is worn away, they typically have about 10 to 15 years of wear when they get to that point. Okay, but all in all, I got 1,000 pennies from this person when I purchased them. And so here's the other bag of pennies I have here. And I have another bag of pennies here. And I have another bag of pennies here. So I have 3 bags of pennies, and as you can see, it's 300 wheat pennies, all between the years of 1941 and 58. Okay, so there's really not too much special about these pennies other than the key dates that you may find in these pennies, which is the 1943 copper penny, which is ultra rare, extremely rare, and the 1955 double die penny. Those are the only 2 pennies that are key date pennies. All the rest of the pennies are just average, and being high circulated pennies of about 1 billion pennies. These pennies are not at all rare. Okay, so these pennies are pretty common. You can go to any coin shop and pick up some of these pennies. Another penny that I have that I purchased is a 1903 Indian head penny. And if you look at the penny, I already graded the penny, and the grade of this penny is about a 10. So this is about an average Indian head penny that you will see, maybe slightly below average. And here I have a 1904 penny, which is about the grade of a 12. Okay. And I also have here a 1905 penny. As you can see, the grade is extremely fine. And the person I bought this from, I do agree with the grade of extremely fine after grading it myself. And there is just a little bit of detail missing that would qualify this coin for a grade of almost uncirculated 50. So this coin is almost to the grade of what you would have to send it off to be graded. It was almost there. I was hoping it would be there, but it was almost there. So these are the coins that I have purchased recently and have gotten back today. And I am pretty happy about the coins that I've gotten today. And the 1,000 wheat pennies that I have, I'm going to go through all the wheat pennies and check out the condition of them, which is going to be a large task, and see what I actually have here, seeing that there are really 2 key dates between 41 and 58. So it might not be too much here, but we will see. Thanks for watching.